How's it going, guys? Today we are taking a look at the 2009 Transformers Revenge of the Fallen Legion class Devastator. And to say the least, this is probably my favorite of the Legion class figures or collections. Ever since I've gotten him, sorry for the stutter, ever since I got him, he's one of the few that I go back to every time I want to mess with something, because they're little construction trucks, construction cars. But yeah, no, they're all an amazing team. They form a fairly accurate Devastator for the time. And unlike the Supreme class one, I think it's called, it's either the Supreme or the Ultra class, I don't know. They all actually have robot modes, as well as combined modes. First one we're going to get out of the way is Mixmaster, so get rid of these guys. And yeah, he's fairly faithful to his Mack cement truck from the movie. What I like about these is they're very simple. They're little fidget toys. So to transform him, it's fairly straightforward. You flip this entire section around, shows you the Devastator head. I like to bring this down just a little bit, and you can grab his two wheel arches here, separate them, make sure it locks in right there at the top. Bring the rest of his torso down, flip his arms down, and spread out his legs. And that is your Mixmaster. And to me, this is really cute. His head is off, but that's also due to it being a concept art head, where Mixmaster was actually supposed to be an Autobot. This head would also appear on another box set, which had Hoist and a G1 colored Voyager class Mixmaster. And yeah, for the most part, I might pick up another version of, or another Mixmaster for Legion class and paint it into that Autobot colors. I'm not sure yet. But he's a fairly straightforward toy. Cannot do the gun mode, unfortunately. Well, that's just due to the fact of him having a Devastator noodle there on the back, which we'll get into in the combined mode. Fairly straightforward. Legs can go forward that far, back that far, and only arm rotation right here at the ball joint. Everything else is just static. Get him out of the way. Next we will grab Overload, who is a fairly nice truck. He is dusty. I do apologize for the dust. Getting him out of the way, we're going to bring this little hook piece up. Stand him up like so. What I like to do is separate the back of his trailer here, rotate him up like that, and bring both of these sections down. And then simply grab him from the torso or his back, push it forward a little bit, give him that hunched over, and separate his legs, and that is Overload. Again, he has a little more articulation than Mixmaster. So he's got a ball joint here at his shoulder, which allows it to go back that far and forward that far. I guess you could count this as more arm movement. I don't know. Unlike Mixmaster, though, his legs can only go out go all the way out like that, just due to him being the crotch piece for Devastator. And he's probably one of my more favorite ones, because I got this one, and I got Scrapper and Long Haul, which are my favorite out of the set. There's not much more to talk about here, so move you out of the way, and we're gonna grab Rampage, or in this case, Skipjack. For some reason, there was two Rampages in the movie. One was yellow and one was red. They called the yellow one Skipjack. We're just going to bring his treads up, fold back his bucket. Sorry. Flip up his buckets. Grab the lower treads here. I'm going to bring everything down. There's a small notch here in his canopy where he has to get these little clip pieces to fit in. And that takes a little bit to finagle in there. Once it's like that, then that's how it should sit. I'm going to bring up the Decepticon logo here, which will reveal Skipjack's face. And that's very cool. Only real articulation he has is his arms, and they can do a whole 360 degrees. I guess you can consider this as an ab crunch, but that's more for his leg mode. The rest of it is just him doing the pogo stick during the battlefield. Just blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Anyway. Next, we're going to bring in the Long Haul, who's fairly easy to do. That's what his truck mode looks like. Going to grab his rear wheels here, bring them down like so. Grab him by his bucket and bring her down like that. Split the bucket there. Split his legs and flip down his toes. And that's pretty much what Long Haul is. Only real movement he has is leg movements, which are up really high. And I guess you could see he's got a butterfly joint going in, but that's cheating it a little. Really love the way it looks, though. Really like it. Go there. Get my least like out of the way, which is Scavenger. I looked around and I almost forgot one. I'm going to get him out of the way now. Just going to bring his little treads up like so. Separate his entire back, which will reveal his Scavenger face. Bring down these pieces right here to form his shoulders. The wheels, we're going to separate them here in the back. Bring them down like so. And then put these treads back all the way up here like that. This top wheel, we're going to make sure it's shifted all the way over so they're all center. And that's pretty much it for Scavenger. Not my favorite design, but it gets the point across. This is who the character is meant to look like. Pardon me. I actually just discovered something about this toy, or at least this mold of Hightower. Get his transformation out of the way. Going to bring up his hook here. Separate his treads here and fold them up on those armatures. What I like to do at least is grab it by the armature here, applying small pressure here to fold everything down like so. Then we're going to grab his treads, flip them sideways like that, and then up. Do the same thing on this side. And for the longest time, this is how I thought Scavenger looked, until I was messing with it earlier, and apparently you got to flip out something right here as well. Oh, come on. Come on. Come on. Dang it. Got it. And all we're going to do is just flip this hook down, and that gives him his little, I guess it's a tail. He is not posable at all. He can just scoot. That's all he can do, is just scoot. And last but not least, we're going to bring in Scavenger here. And he is one of my more favorite ones. He's the only one I have out of the Studio Series. I do have Mixmaster's original toy, or original Voyager class toy from 2009, but I don't have a Studio Series one, which I don't care much. For Scrapper here, we're going to flip up his entire canopy, which reveals his concept art head. Separate his legs. I like to move them down a little bit just to clear the arms. I'm going to separate the arms and bring them up like so. And then I'm just going to flip his feet around. And he, out of all the Constructicons, is the most posable. He's got a 360-degree elbow or shoulder here. I can't talk today, apparently. Leg can go forward that far, can go backwards that far, and he has a little ankle tilt. So he is the most posable out of all the Constructicons as I drop him. Alright, so we're going to bring them all in quickly. And that is the Constructicon team. Messing with them again, I know for me my top 3 would definitely have to be Mixmaster, Long Haul, and Scrapper Boy, which I knocked over. Well, whatever, you live there now. So now we are going to get him into combine mode. So I'm just going to quickly do this. So I have everybody now back in vehicle mode, save for Scavenger. And there's a very good reason for that, because this is pretty much how he is supposed to look in his combined form. What we are going to do is we're going to work from the bottom and work our way up, so everyone can move. We'll need to start with these two here. So for long haul, what we're going to do is we're going to bring this entire wheel section down, fold up his dump bucket like we're going back into truck mode, but instead we're going to bring the radiator and the cab over like so, and then fold his legs all the way to the back, and that is one leg done. We're going to, and now for Rampage, we're going to split his treads apart. I'm going to fold everything down like we're going back into his robot mode, line everything up, but instead of having this as a stop point, we're going to bring it all the way down like so. Oh, focus, damn it. Bring everything down like so, and bring his treads back together and connect his scoop. And that is his lower legs done. Now we're going to get overload in. Going to separate his front of the truck like that. Swing it around. Bring that little hook he had in robot mode down. So it's going to look like that. And then the rear of his trailer is going to come down like so. Now, just to get out of the way, we're going to use these little pegs here, clip long haul right there into overload, same as Rampage right there. And that is the trousers and the crotch of Devastator. For Scavenger, all we're really going to do is we're going to shift his tires over like so on both sides. Flip down his little treads here like so. And then his two wheels can go all the way to the back like that. That's pretty much how Scavenger would look. Plug him into Devastator. We're going to move his two scoops out of the way. There's little cutouts. Oh, you can't even see it. There's little cutouts there in the tread that can slide over this rear bucket piece of the dump truck or whatever overload is. And we're essentially just going to slide those down till about there, if you can see it. And then his two rear wheels are going to just going to fit right there into the bucket. And I can't even see the guy. They're going to fit right there into these little grooves. And this hook, I like to just bring it back up and just wedge it in ever so slightly there. And that to me just completes the look. And we're just going to reorient Scavenger's two bucket arms there. Now we can move him out of the way. So we're going to get Hightower out of the way now. Autofocus is junk today, apparently. There we go. Got Hightower in here. All we're really going to do is just flip out this cage and his robot noodle. That is all we're really going to do here for him. And he's going to become the... Oh, flip up his tail hook. He's going to become the left arm of Devastator. So that's pretty much how he would look. Scrapper, he is going to be the same way. All we're going to really do is separate these, twist his front buckets around, and tab his legs back into where his arms would go. And that is the arm for Devastator. So it's just like Hightower and Longhaul and Rampage. You peg him right there. And we're almost done. For Devastator's head, we're just going to come up to Rampage. Or, who are you? Mixmaster. I can't stop saying Rampage, apparently. We're going to come up to Mixmaster here. And we're going to swing his entire cab of the truck around. Split his legs open. And just, I like to angle them out of the way and down like that. That's what his head would look like. And all we're really going to do is bring back Devastator. There's two little tabs right here that are going to slot. Oh, come on. They're going to slot in right there where his two rear tires are. And tab those in. We can assort his two front tires, bring them down like that. And that gives you Devastator. And he is, again, one of my favorite fidget toys from 2009. Unfortunately, the only articulation he really has is his floppy little dome here. Oh, jeez. Bring his arms, or bring his head back down. And I guess we could try and manipulate his arms to be in like a crawling position, like that. Even though that's not that convincing. So we're just going to bring his arms back out. And yeah, that's pretty much it for Devastator. Typically I would do a comparison, but this is the only Devastator I have, and that's his Studio Series mold. So he'll get a dedicated video eventually. Right now it's just this little Devi. Get out of here. So yeah, nothing else to really say about Devastator here. I know there is two repaints out on the market. There's his Age of Extinction one, as well as that rare all-green Constructicon version from the original movie toy line. Not sure if there's any more. Don't know what the differences would be. All I have is this one, which I'm okay with it. So that's going to be it for the Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. I guess we could say Deluxe class? No. Legion class. We're just going to stick with Legion. Legion class, Devastator, and the Constructicon team. I'm going to just let this face haunt your nightmares for a bit. Have a good night, everyone. Bye.